Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam with three major objectives that are mentioned in the Quran at several places. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent him to people that were not big on formal education. So they are called al-ummiyin. These were people that were not very much interested in reading and writing. It's hard to say the word illiterate because these were some of the most eloquent people in history. So I don't like using the word illiterate in the context of the Arabs that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was sent to. But we can say they were unlettered in reading and writing. This also meant that they had no formal system of educating about life, about morals, about conduct and behavior. There was no text that they were referring to. There was no written set of laws that they were following. That's the context that we should look at this in. They were ummi in that sense. Now he sends to them a messenger who was from amongst themselves to do three things. The first was yatlu alayhim ayatihi. He was reciting to them the verses that were revealed. This is the process of da'wah, directing them to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For 13 years, the verses that were revealed in Mecca were talking about the oneness of Allah, the glorious attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the ways of Allah, the stories of the people before them. This was to direct their attention towards their Creator and towards their purpose for being here in this life. Those who chose to accept this message, those who were receptive to it, then the Prophet ﷺ had two other duties to fulfill in regards to those people. The first was وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ. There is that word tazkiyah, which means that he now has to reform them, purify them, meaning reform them. He has to work on making certain changes. And this is where we can understand what is it exactly that needs to be purified in us. It begins with beliefs. Changing wrong beliefs to correct beliefs. Removing beliefs that revolve around beings other than Allah, and bringing people towards those beliefs that revolve around Allah. Correcting misunderstandings around the dhat, the being of Allah, and the sifat, the attributes of Allah. Correcting those understandings, bringing them to the right set of understandings. So it begins with beliefs. From beliefs, it shifts to attitudes. From the attitude of taking what you can from whoever you can, to the attitude of generosity. As an example, sharing what you can with whom you can. From the attitude of responding with harsh words with even harsher words, to an attitude of being humble and responding in a gentler way. So tendencies and attitudes, changing incorrect attitudes. The attitude of looking down at people shifts to the attitude of appreciating people and seeing people in a more fair way, in a more positive way. It then moves on to behaviors, conducts, and of course, worships are all a part of that. But there wasn't a huge emphasis on worships in the first 13 years of Mecca. It was about iman and it was about akhlaq. So tazkiyah includes the reformation of akhlaq. And akhlaq, khuluq, is a very broad term. It's a very powerful term. And I want to shed just a little bit of light on it, because Tazkiyah is very closely related to it. Khuluq is from khalq. We say akhlaq, plural of khuluq. Khuluq is derived from the word khalq, which means to create. Khuluq is something that a person does without thinking about it. When they are left to their normal self, what they do is actually their khuluq. When there's no intervention, what a person normally does is their khuluq. They're acting in a certain way as if they were created that way. It has become a part of their khilqat. It has become a part and parcel of who and what they are. Now, to change that is a serious undertaking. Hence, tathir, tanzif, tasfiyah is not sufficient. Here, tazkiyah is required. So the Prophet ﷺ started working on all of this. Once the people showed receptiveness to these behavioral reformations and character reformations, then the Prophet ﷺ was given the duty to educate them. وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةِ. He teaches them the book, he teaches them wisdom, which can also be interpreted as sunnah. He teaches this, but there is a sequence here. Now, someone might say that, look, maybe I'm not ready for it. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encourages us by saying that وَإِن كَانُوا مِن قَبْلُ لَفِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. These people were clearly lost. They were clearly astray. They had no sense of direction. Dalal, to lose your direction. They had clearly lost their path. Even then, the Prophet ﷺ made this effort on them. And he succeeded. He succeeded in his effort. Now, tazkiyah is not something that happens in a day, in a week, in a month, or even in a year. It's a lifelong process. It happens in phases. A person continues to walk on this path. And as we will talk about during the course of these discussions, we can do it in a holistic way where we are targeting many areas of ourselves, or we can target it with one characteristic at a time, one issue at a time. There are many ways to do it. But the mandate was not left just to the Prophet ﷺ. In fact, every single human being was given responsibility to take charge of their own nafs and to purify their nafs.